Chapter 1. You are listening at fametv.info. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios in the southeastern region of the Pangying realm, one of the 9 prefectures, Lingzhou. Su Tian stood on a peak and sighed softly. When will I be able to break through this current bottleneck? 8 years ago, Su Tian transmigrated to this wonderful world and became one of the disciples of the rampant sect. Perhaps it was because he was born intelligent and talented. In just 2 years, he had broken through from the mortal body to the stage of qi cultivation. At this moment, Su Tian had already reached the final segment of the nascent breath stage. In the past, Su Tian was regarded as the most talented prodigy in the rampant sect, and one with the most potential among the younger generation of the Kingdom of the 9 States. But just at that time, he encountered a bottleneck. Up till now, he was still stuck at the final segment of the nascent breath stage, and stopped advancing ever since. 5 years had passed, and no matter how hard Su Tian tried, he couldn't break through this bottleneck. In the past 5 years, Su Tian had been living a dark life, and this made him miserable. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have listened to that scamming system. What a waste of my time and efforts. Regret was written all over Su Tian's face. In this world, immortal cultivators had to condense their own foundation when they reached the nascent breath stage. Even foundations had their differences as well. There were 3 levels. Heaven Foundation, Earth Foundation, and Man Foundation. Of course, among these 3 foundations, ability was the most important. Within the same level, the one who could condense the Heavenly Tao Foundation would be the one no one could match up to. For them, even crossing realms was an easy task. However, subsequent cultivation was equally difficult. It was also hundreds of times more difficult to upgrade one's realm compared to one's Earth Foundation and Man Foundation. At that time, Su Tian was still too young and eager for fame, so he listened to the system's deceptions that he could only activate the system after condensing his Heaven Foundation. Now, after condensing the Heaven Foundation, the system actually required him to fall into a deep sleep in order to complete the current mission. In the beginning, Su Tian thought that the deep sleep would last for a day or 2, but 5 years had passed since then. Alright, I've been scammed of 5 years by you. Now that I'm already awake, you should at least tell me what to do next. At the thought of this, Su Tian gritted his teeth in anger, and rage had long gripped his heart. In the past 5 years, Su Tian had indeed experienced the benefits of condensing the foundation of the Heavenly Tao. None of his fellow sect members were his match. In fact, he could easily defeat even the ones that he had crossed realms to challenge. Even the elders of the rampant sect wanted to save some face for themselves. Therefore, at that point in time, no one dared to provoke Su Tian. However, because he chose the Heavenly Tao Foundation, Su Tian was still stuck at the final segment of the nascent breath stage. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. By logic, if he had chosen to condense the Earth Foundation or Man Foundation, with Su Tian's talent, he would have only needed at most a year to break through to the revolving core stage or even the fasting stage. However, it was precisely because he listened to the *T system and chose the Heavenly Tao Foundation that he needed to spend at least 100 years of cultivation before he could break through to the next stage. Don't you think this was a huge scam? Su Tian was worried sick. Su Tian also knew that no matter how angry he was, it was useless now. He could only come up to the mountain peak to cool himself down. In the end, he sighed again. If the system still hasn't recovered, I might really have to waste all my cultivation and start anew. He thought about how all the glory and energy that he had accumulated over the years, as well as the heavy responsibility given to him by his sect master, would have to be handed over to others while he had to go into seclusion in the rampart of the sect. 5 years had passed in the blink of an eye, and all of his martial brothers and sisters who were in the same stage as him had already entered the next stage. Su Tian was the only one who was still stuck here. He had truly wasted his reputation as an outstanding talent. He had already prepared for the worst-case scenario. If the system did not revive, then he could only cripple himself of all his cultivation, start over and choose the Earth Tao Foundation or the Man Tao Foundation. He believed that as long as he worked harder, he would be able to achieve Tao very quickly. However, if he did this, it would be a waste of his previous efforts. This was the best age for him to cultivate. If he started over, not only would he lose face, he would also miss the best age for cultivation. It would be even more difficult in the future. At that instant, Su Tian was at a loss and didn't know what to do. Just as Su Tian was caught between a rock and a hard place, he heard a very familiar, ding, sound in his head. The system's long-absent voice finally sounded in his head. The system has automatically activated because it has detected a suitable candidate for a disciple nearby. Ah! After waiting for so long, this D*Ned system has finally restarted. Su Tian had waited for 5 years and almost gave up. Nice one, you finally rebooted. I was so close to unloading you. King system, tell me, do you take pleasure in cheating people? If the system did not give him a good solution this time, Su Tian would really not entertain it anymore. Even if he had to cultivate again, he would never touch this system. The system's voice sounded in his mind with no hint of regret. The system is your most reliable partner. Now, the system is providing you with convenience. As long as you accept disciples to pass on your skills, you can obtain double the returns. At the same time, you will be rewarded with Dharma treasures, immortal pills, weapons, secret manuals and so on. Read latest chapters at Wuxia World. Cite only. Let me give you an example. If you impart your skills to your disciple, then you will receive double the power. The system's explanation was very simple and clear. It meant that if you were to impart a year's worth of power to the other party, he would receive several years' worth of power. Wasn't this a good thing that he could earn without losing anything? However, the system had already made it very clear that the other party must be his disciple. I'm a little tempted by your words, but, Su Tian almost forgot how the system had tricked him, so he began to hesitate. If he transferred 10 years of power to the other party, then wouldn't he have 100 years of power? By then, wouldn't he have long achieved Tao and immortality? Listen to the full novel at fametv.info, direct link in the description.